There's a word called strategic timeout. Yes or no? Na? Why they will give IPL games are T20 games. They are very short and sweet games. Things will change very fastly. So in the middle of the game, to plan the things, they have given strategic timeout. But if you observe, international T20s, there is no strategic timeout. Only in IPL, only strategic timeout is there. Tell me what is the strategy behind this strategic timeout? Only in IPL matches. Tell me, my dear. IPL games are more powerful than international T20s, more standard. Yes, sir. You love your country, but don't love more than it required. Yeah, very thing is, it's all about again getting revenue from advertisements. Generally, strategic timeout will be taken when game is in peak state. When game is in peak state, generally people will be connected and watching the TV continuously, right? They don't tune to other channel because they don't want to miss each single ball also. So at that time, 2.5 minutes for each team, total 10 minutes, that too when game is in peak stage, right? Total 10 minutes. How come? For each team, 2.5 in each innings, right? So total 10 minutes. So 10 minutes advertisement revenue, it can be in 100 crore or 200 crore also. Now IPL is not running because of game. It's running because of what? TV, satellite revenue. Satellite revenue means satellite advertisement revenue. That is making the game bigger. So they created a situation to get what? More revenue from advertisements. That is also one strategic planning, right? Okay. So strategy design pattern also says whenever you want to keep the classes in dependency management, whenever you want to keep the classes in what? Dependency management. Are you getting my point there? Whenever you want to keep the classes in what? Dependency management. You follow strategy design pattern while designing the target and dependent classes. And you will end up developing them as the best classes. So when you want to keep classes in dependency management as a target and dependent classes, you follow strategy design pattern principle. You will end up developing them as what? Best classes of target dependency management. So strategy design pattern makes the target and dependent classes of dependency management as what? As what? Loosely coupled interchangeable parts. What, guys? Loose coupling means what? Degree of dependency is less. Interchangeable parts means what? I can replace one dependent with another dependent. For example, Flipkart is their target class, e-commerce company. DTDC, Blue Dot, DHL, First Flight, all these are courier companies. E-Cart, all these are courier companies in the market. Flipkart wants to deal with one courier company at a time. Yes, no? So if you develop these target and dependent classes according to strategy design pattern rules or principle, I can replace, come on, I can replace first dependent with the second dependent with the third dependent without touching the source code of what? Flipkart class. So that means, okay, I'm making target and dependent class of dependency management as loosely coupled interchangeable parts are not there. Loosely coupled interchangeable parts. Are you getting my point there or not? Simply as loosely coupled interchangeable parts. Convinced with me, my dear? Come on, everyone. Okay, once again. Strategy design pattern is a gang of four design pattern. It can be implemented in what? Any OOP language. It is not a Spring design pattern, but mostly used design pattern in Spring is strategy design pattern. If someone asks you, what is the design pattern that you have used almost in every Spring or Spring Boot application? Strategy design. Some people uses it, but they don't know they are using it also. Such a impact is there for this strategy design part. What's the use of it? It makes target and dependent classes of dependency management as loosely coupled interchangeable parts. That means I can replace one dependent with another dependent for a target without disturbing the source code of the target. Without disturbing the source code of our target class. That is what we require now, boss. Other day, I have taken wish message generator local date or local time. If I want to replace local time with another class, I have to disturb the source code of the target class, right? That is tight coupling, boss. I have to open the .java file of wish message generator Java. There I have to modify. I want to replace local date with local time or both with date or something else. So I'm touching the source code of the target class. That means in first application, whatever applications I have given so far, I have not worried about what? Loose coupling. One target, one dependent, forever dependent should be there with the target. Target cannot change dependent. But that is not going to work out now, boss. When target is ready to work with multiple dependents, that to one dependent at a time, we should create a situation of what? Replacing existing dependent with a new dependent without touching the source code of what? Target class. That means we have to make dependents as what? Interchangeable parts, achieving the loose coupling. Achieving the loose coupling. Are you getting my point there, guys? Okay, now let's see. You are not visible properly. सर को देखना मैंडेटरी नहीं है focus on subject. Okay, call the admin. I think they switched off the light. Yeah, give me 1 minute. You want to see me? Yeah, fine. ఒక్క లైట్ అమ్మా ఆన్లైన్ వాళ్ళకి నా ఫేస్ కనిపించట్లేదు ఇక్కడ కాదు అటువైపు సైడ్ లైట్ అయ్యాయి Am I visible now? Am I visible now? Admin is not active, sir, in morning class. Okay, fine. Okay, so now let's come back to strategy design pattern. Please focus. We are going to see core Java in next level. You are there in the feeling, I know core Java, but I'm going to touch those areas of core Java which you have not seen, but regular oops only. But I'm going to present in different angle. That's why core Java learning is a never-ending process. You will learn core Java 10 times from 10 different faculties. One or other new angle of learning will be there. Because fundamentals, fundamentals and concept building. As your maturity increases, your observation will increase. That's why don't close your doors while upgrading the points related to core Java. So the other day I have introduced built-in properties. These many days you used length, array.length. But did you ever notice it is generated by compiler? Okay, and I have introduced class property, reflection API. All these are basically core Java discussion. Fine. Okay, now let me open the document here. File open, guys. What's your batch code? 719. Spring Core. Where is this? Session how much? Yeah, factory design pattern one, right? Yeah, what is design pattern is all about? Best practices or worst practices? Best practices of programming. What is the difference between factory method and factory pattern? Factory method says, I written any object. It can be current class object, relevant class object, irrelevant class object. Fine. But factory pattern says, I internally use factory method, but I written what? One of the several related class objects based on the data you provide. What's the advantage of factory pattern? Two advantages. Number one, it returns one of the several related class object based on the data it provides. In this whole process, it provides abstraction for end user, okay, towards object creation. You call method, you get object. You need not to bother about how that object is actually created, right? Strategy design pattern. Very, very important. What is the mostly used design pattern means you have to think about strategy design. Strategy means planning. It gives planning to design target and dependent classes to make them as loosely coupled interchangeable parts. Loosely coupled interchangeable parts. This is Ganga 4 pattern can be implemented in any OOP language. This pattern is very popular in Spring programming because it gives what? Set of principles towards designing classes of dependency management. And we use dependency management a lot in what? Spring program. Strategy defined DP says, while designing classes of dependency management, follow set of rules or principle which allow to design the classes as what? Loosely coupled interchangeable parts. What is that, guys? Loosely coupled interchangeable parts. We can change one dependent with another dependent without touching the source code of what? Target class. Without touching the source code of what? Target class. Is that clear, my dear? The target and dependent classes of dependency management can be designed by using the following principles of what? Strategy DP. By using following principles of what? Strategy DP. Rule number one, principle number one. Favor composition over inheritance. Favor composition over what? Inheritance. What do you mean by favor composition over inheritance, guys? Don't prefer inheritance to keep the classes in relationship. Prefer what? Composition. Composition means as a relationship. Class A extends from class B, inheritance. In class A, I created object of class B, that is composition. Inheritance fall under what? Is a relationship. Composition fall under is a relation. Observe very carefully in first project also, knowingly, unknowingly, we have kept wish message generator and local time classes, season finder and local date classes. In what relationship? Has a relation, composition only, right? Rule number two and what? Principle number two. Always code to interface and abstract classes. That means don't code with what? Concrete classes to achieve loose coupling in the implementation of what? Dynamic polymorphism. This concept is studied in core Java also. When two classes are in relationship, okay, but second class can be replaced with another class. So it's better to code with interface. It's better to code with interface or directly better to code with what? Okay. Harish, what should I repeat? You missed class, that's why I should repeat. It's not going to work out, my dear. Please. Please, Mr. Harish. It's not going to work out like that. Be on time and attend classes regularly. If you miss the class, before coming to next class, read the document and join bit early and first 5 minutes or last 5 minutes, clarify your doubts. No, I join after half an hour, you repeat. I'm not conducting one-to-one session. I don't entertain one-to-one session. If I conduct also, I don't repeat there also. Sorry to say. You are at learning side. You should have that eagerness of learning, not me. Is that clear? Harish, last warning. Fine. Online student, use your queries properly in the chat box. Whatever you comes in mind, if you put, you will be getting scoldings from me. You should have strategy is not opposite to this one. Strategy says don't keep the classes of what? Inheritance. Keep the classes in composition. That's one of the principle. It is not against of inheritance. It says how best we can design target and dependent classes as what? Classes of dependency management as loosely coupled interchangeable part. For that one, whatever it require, it will suggest. It is not against of someone or pro of someone, right? Okay. Asking design pattern and design pattern factory short explanation. So far, what I have done, Harish? So far, what I have done? Factory pattern, and I have compared factory method, right? In front of you. I think few minutes back only I have revised that. Hey, come on, don't behave like a kid, please. Okay. Rule 2. What is that? Always code to interface and what? Abstract classes. Always code to interface and what? Abstract classes. Don't code with concrete classes. That means normal classes. So that we can achieve what? Loose coupling in the implementation of dynamic polymorphism or not. Super. Next, rule number 3. Our code must be open for what? Extension. That means I should be in a position to add more and more dependents. But our code must be closed for modification. People should not be in a position to modify the existing method logic through overriding kind of thing. Because already class is there, method is there. If that class is allowing to develop the subclass, I will override the method in the subclass with the new logic, na? Overriding is nothing but changing the logic or not there. Changing the logic means what? We are modifying the code, right? Indirectly are modifying the code. Modification does not mean opening the .java file, modifying existing method code. You developing subclass, overriding the method, also indirectly modifying the logic of the method or not. Indirectly are modifying the logic of the method or not there. So full and final conclusion is, come on. These are the 3 rules that you have to follow. Then only, okay, you can develop target and dependent class of dependency management as a loosely coupled interchangeable part. Don't worry. I'm going to take each rule more exclusively to understand it, right? Yeah. What is the rule number 1? I want everyone to repeat this. Favor or prefer inheritance over, favor or prefer composition over inherit. Number 2, always code to interfaces are abstract classes. That means don't code to concrete classes and what? Abstract. Concrete classes, right? Why? To achieve loose coupling. Next, rule number 3 or principle number 3. Our code must be open for extension and must be closed for what? Mod. Must be open for extension and must be closed for what? Are you getting my point there or not? Yeah. Listen, guys. If any object name is called with interface name, generally this is not related to strategy design. That is not object of interface. That is object of a class that implements interface. We say serializable object. Serializable is basically what, guys? An interface. Is it the object of interface? It's the object of a class that implements interface, right? I say clonable object. It's the object of a class that implement clonable. Okay, forget about all this thing. Collections you take. List object. List is an interface. It is not object of list interface. It's object of a class that implements list interface. Map object, set object. Yes, my dear, come on. Similarly, if you are referring any object with abstract class name, it is not object of what? Abstract class. It is the object of a class that extends from abstract class. We say calendar object. Calendar is an abstract class. Whenever I say calendar, cal is equal to calendar dot get instance. Technically speaking, that is object of Gregorian calendar. But how can you refer with what? An abstract class name. For abstract class reference variable can refer what? One of its subclass object or not. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Yeah. If any, what is that? If any class name is referred, object is referred with concrete class name. Not mandatory, it is the object of that concrete class. It can be object of what? One of its subclass. It can be the object of what? One of its subclass. Are you getting my point there? Suppose in the hierarchy, car is there. In that one, what? Car is there. In that one, so many subclasses are there. Jeep, uh, car is there. Different types of cars. Baleno, okay, I-20, I-10, so many numbers of this. So I say car object, but does not mean only object of car, guys. It can be object of Baleno, it can be object of what? I-20, it can be object of Fortuner, it can be object of Innova, right? So when I use the word concrete class object, not compulsory it should be the object of that concrete class. It can be one of its what? Subclass of. So final conclusion is, if object is referred with interface name, it is not object of interface. It is object of a class that implements interface. If object is referred with abstract class name, it is not object of abstract class. It is object of a class that extends from abstract class. If object is referred with concrete class, it is not compulsory. It is object of that concrete class. It can be object of one of its subclass. One of its what? Subclass. Are you getting my point there or not? Okay, guys. Now let us try to understand rule one by one. Rule one or principle one. Favor composition over inheritance. Class A, class B extends A. What is this inheritance? Why it is called easy relationship? B is, no, not because. B is subclass of A. B is, that's why easy relationship. Are you getting my point there? Class A in class B, A class object is created or not? That property is called has a property. Then why it is called has a relation, guys? In object of B got object of A. So B has A. B is subclass of A. B has A object. Object B has object A. That's why as a relation. Like that the words created, boss. See this? Here in the is the object of B. In that one, A class object is assigned or not there? Sir, according to Spring, is inheritance outdated? No, nothing is outdated, boss. To keep the classes of dependency management, inheritance is not recommended. It is not, inheritance is not outdated or it's a bad. In this situation, it is not recommended. In other situation, okay. Rohit Kumar Dubey, Code must be open for extension means I should be in a position to add more and more possible dependents. Already DTDC first flight courier services are there. I should be in a position to add DHL, Blue Dot kind of more and more courier services, right? Okay. And Rohit, let me get into third point. Na? Then you decide whether it is confusing or understanding. I just given point and I'm explaining each point separately. And before I getting into that only, you are concluding. Bavar Mukund Rajendra. Bavar Mukund Rajendra. There is a way of learning. I just introduced. I'm taking each strategy principle one by one, right? Then you have to come to one conclusion now, my dear. Okay. Online student, should I teach how to learn subject also? Huh? Or will you behave properly? I introduced a point. I'm taking point by point. Can't you wait until that? I don't know from how you got engineering degrees. I'm really worried, boss. You don't know how to listen classes also. Sorry to say this. Fine. 3 points I have introduced. I'm going to launch each point one by one. Right. Now, first I'm taking why we should prefer composition over inheritance. So we should understand problems with inheritance and how to overcome those problems through composition are not there. Then you have to decide now whether it is confusing, understanding, or not understanding. The moment you see the title, you will decide the movie. Or by seeing the trailer itself, you will decide movie. Movie is good or bad. No. If you decide the movie by seeing the trailer, what is need of going to theater? Guys, really I'm worried about your listening style. Okay. Maybe first time you are trying to listen classes sincerely, it seems. That's why overexcited. Fine. Let's come back to the classes. Fine. Whatever it is, focus. Give time. Everything comes in a order. I believe in incrementally adding the points. I don't dump all the points at once. Yeah, let's come back to the subject. When should I prefer inheritance? When should I prefer composition? Because inheritance is bad in this situation while keeping classes as target and dependent. But overall inheritance is having its own advantages, right? But tell me, sir, where should I use inheritance? Where should I use what? Composition. Simple thing. If one class wants to use everything of other class, everything of our class, each property, each method it wants to use in the another in the class, then prefer them keeping in what? Inheritance. Examples are, I want to create my own thread, but I don't want to write every logic, guys. Then what we are doing? Take a class, extends from thread. Your class automatically become thread na, boss. That means we are using everything of thread class in your class. That's why burden on you is very less or not there. Are you doing anything to make the class as thread? Why? Because everything is already there in thread class. By making your class extending from what? Thread class. Come on, my dear. Already you are enjoying that feature, right? You want to develop a servlet, but I don't want to do everything from scratch. You're just making your class extending from HTTP servlet. By just adding 1, 2 methods and your class is becoming perfect servlet or not there. Are you doing everything that required for servlet? Because everything is already there. That means you are planning to use 1, 2 properties and methods of superclass, everything of super. That time prefer what? Inheritance. In your personal life also, boss. Okay. You don't want to work hard, but you want to become rich. What is that? Marry a rich girl and go to our house. Instead of bringing to your house, you go to our house. I think in Hindi that is called Garjamai. Aisa no na. In Telugu that is called Illarikum Alludu, right? Aisa no na, guys. And then what happens? You need not to do anything. They will take care of everything. You just become what? Their family member, right? No. You want to use only few things, and few things you want to develop on your own. You are interested in only few things of what? One class, and other things you want to create on your own. Then better to keep them in composition or not. It's like a normal marriage. Bringing girl to your home. Aisa no na, guys. You want to develop everything on your own, but few properties or few things you want to take from that family. So that time better to go for composition or not there. Say something, my dear. And you observe wish message generator, local date. Am I using all the methods of local date in my wish message generator or one, two methods? Then what should I do? Composition is better, inheritance is better. That's why in our first application we preferred composition or inheritance. At least you got the idea why we have designed our first application through composition. Convinced with me, guys? My dear online student, I hope you convinced, guys. If class 1 wants to use entire properties and methods of class 2, then prefer using what? Inheritance. Class extending from thread, class extending from HTTP servlet. Our class not doing anything by just extending from those predefined classes. Our classes are becoming threads and what? Servlets are not there. If class 1 wants to use only few properties and few methods of class 2, then prefer using what? Composition. What is the example, guys? Spring first application. Wish message generator class using what? Only local date class objects current hour of the day value by calling what? Get hour method. It's not call using everything, only using only get hour method or not there. Super, guys. Still point number 1 is going on. Limitations of inheritance. I introduce what is inheritance, what is composition. We have given clarity where to use inheritance, where to use composition. Now tell me, I'm explaining what are the problems with inheritance. Problem number 1, some programming languages, including Java, does not support multiple inheritance using classes. Does not support what? Multiple inheritance using what? Classes. Every day, what is this drama? Yeah. Does not support multiple inheritance. Can we make one class extending from more than one class, guys? Say something, guys. But in composition possible, na? In class C, I can create class A object, class B object. So class C can work with both A and B class objects, their methods and properties, guys. So indirectly, whatever problem is there with inheritance, I can solve through composition or not. Like this, each problem of inheritance and solution through composition. That is what I am going to do. All these are part of rule number 1 discussion only. Are you getting my point? The way we are going to study on, I hope you got it. Yes, have a look. Some programming lang. Okay. So first the first problem. What's the second problem? With inheritance, the code becomes fragile. Fragile or fragile. Okay. English is a dirty language. You can pronounce however you want. Fragile. Fragile means what? Easily breakable, sensitive kind of thing. Did you see packing of glass items? Did you see packing of glass items, boss? Any glass item. On the top pocket, they will write fragile, handle with care. Did you notice that? Fine. Okay. It's very, see, that means code becomes fragile mean you touch in one place, total code is collapsed. That much sense to it is, right? The testing of code becomes complex if classes are there in what? Inherit. If classes are there in inheritance, the testing of code becomes very, very complex or not there. Are you getting my point there? The testing of code becomes very complex if classes are there in what? Inherited. I'm talking about unit testing. Sir, testing is done by testers now. As a developer, why should I worry? No, one testing will be done by developer. That is what? Unit testing. JUnit is part of that only. Programmer's testing on his own piece of code, not overall project. He will test only his portion of the code, his task related code. That is called what? Unit test. Each assignment, each task is called one unit. Since you are testing only that portion of the code, that's why it is called as what? Unit testing. Okay, that's good. Some programming languages, including Java, does not support multiple inheritance using classes. Check it out. Class A, class B. Can I make class C extend A comma B, guys? Are you getting my point? Okay, by seeing this, people says one thing. So through classes not possible. Through interfaces possible, na? You go for interfaces. Okay, don't look at interfaces in the angle of inheritance. Look at interfaces only for polymorphism. Why, sir? First of all, tell me what is there in the interface to inherit? All methods and interface by default, public, static. Come on. You don't keep by default, they are public, static or not. You implement interface, you don't implement interface. Interface methods are visible everywhere. Na? Come on. You implement, you don't implement. Interface methods are visible everywhere, right? Without inheritance also they are visible. Come on. All member variables are what? Public, static, final. Final also. You implement interface, you don't implement interface. Interface properties are visible everywhere. Come on, guys. Sir, we have some default methods. We have static methods from Java 8 onwards, right? Okay, static methods, as usually, static method definitions we can write in interface, right? But they are also visible without implementing interface or not there. Come on, guys, because they are static, right? What about default methods, sir? Default methods are having primary logic or optional logic. If no logic is written, this logic. Is it inheritable logic? If no logic is kept, this logic, how does it is a great logic, boss? Are you understanding my statement? So that's why I don't look at interfaces for the sake of inheritance. If someone says, no sir, interface C extends from interface A comma B, C is extending from A comma B interfaces, two interfaces at a time. Come on. That you are in the psychological feeling by seeing syntax, you got cheated. Aisa no na, guys. No, that is inheritance between interfaces. I'm not saying that. That is definitely what? Inheritance between what? Interfaces. I have to take this call, please. Hello. ఎక్కడి వరకు వచ్చారమ్మా? Right, right, no problem. Okay. No problem. No problem. I will wait you. Don't look at interfaces for inheritance. Look at interfaces for what? Polymorph. How? Take an interface I1. In that one, keep method M1 as the declaration. In class A that implement interface I1, I can have my own logic for M1 method. In class B that implement interface I1, come on, I can have my own logic for M1 method. In class C that implement interface I1, I can have one more version of logic for M1 method. One method, multiple forms. Is it not polymorphism, guys? Are you getting my point? So always look at interfaces in the angle of polymorphs. Don't get don't get cheated by syntax of what? One interface extending from 2, 3 interface at a time. See, look at interfaces are supporting what? Multiple inheritance. Okay, that's what I have written. Don't look at interfaces in the angle of what? Inheritance, because interface methods are public static method. That means they are visible everywhere, irrespective of interface implementation. Interface properties are public static final properties. That means they are accessible in all the places, irrespective of what? Whether implement interface or not. Come on. Static methods of interface Java 8 can be accessed everywhere, okay, with interface name, irrespective of interface implementation. Are you getting my point? Always look at interfaces in the angle of polymorphism to achieve what? Loose cup. Check it out. I1, M1 method, class A1 implementing having its own logic. B1 implementation is having its own logic. Okay. Class A implements X comma Y. Looks like multiple inheritance, but it is not. At a time, we are going for polymorphism with two interfaces. That is what we have to look at it. I don't know how you studied, what you studied in core Java. This is my version of understanding at interfaces. Did you study interfaces support multiple inheritance? No one gives that statement, but indirectly you will understand like that. Yes or no, guys? It looks like that because you are cheated by syntax. It looks like that class A implementing both interfaces at a time. Inheritance means inheriting something. What is there in the interfaces to inherit something? If you don't implement also, methods are visible. If you don't implement also, properties are visible. If you don't implement also, static methods are invocable. Come on. Default methods are leave it. They are not a great method to worry about it because they are having default logic, not the primary logic. No logic, then that logic. It's like int a, no value 0 is the default value. Is there any significance for 0, guys? Yes or no, guys? No job, then BPO job. You completed engineering, no job coming. So what do you do? BPO job. Is there any reason to tell I am doing BPO job proudly? No. If no job, BPO job. Everyone gets BPO job, right? But that industry also sinking. Why? AI. Because of AI, that industry is sinking. Why? Because uh, we have what is that? Robotic AI. All these AIs are preparing what? Chatbots. Chatbots. All these are able to using them. We can develop what? Chatbots, and they're creating what? Artificial humans who speak like a executive. Who speak like what? Executive. BPO, KPO, content writing, all these jobs are gone because of AI. Where brain is required, there only jobs are there. But there also you should know how to involve AI. Are you getting my point there? Fine, guys. Okay. Class A implements what? X comma Y. Polymorphism means one method, multiple forms, multiple implementation. One is M1, one is the. See, M1 definition of A1, M1 definition of B1. One method, two definitions have come or not there. Fine. Forget about that point. What is the problem with inheritance? At a time, one class cannot extend from multiple classes. Can we solve this problem through composition, guys? Bringing the effect of multiple inheritance through what? Classes. Class A, class B. In class C, I created both objects are not there. So that means the object of class C is having object of A and object of B are not there. Say something, my dear. With inheritance, the code becomes what? Fragile. Fragile means what, guys? Easily breakable. Fragile means what, my dear? Come on. Easily breakable. How? Let us understand the problem. I want you people to focus more on the problem part, guys. If you understand problem part, then you will understand solution part automatic. Problem is most important. Did you ever watch the director S.S. Rajamouli movies? Bahubali, Triple R. I think now he's all India famous, right? But for Telugu people, he's an old guy. Same old guy. If you look at any of his movie, boss, it's fixed pattern. First half of the movie, he will highlight the villain and villain cruelty in a peak manner. Every audience start hating him. Okay. In second part, he start dominating. He will make hero dominating the villain. So that gives audience a kick. Oh, my hero is beating the cruel villain. You look at any of his movie, it is a pattern. You check. I think he made really 9 to 10 movies so far. Okay. Almost in every movie, okay, he follows the same pattern. You observe Bahubali 1. If you observe Bahubali 1, we get the feeling whether hero is Prabhasha or hero is what? Ranana. Entire Bahubali 1 is a villain domination, if you observe very carefully. It's a domination of the villain, right? And in Bahubali Part 2, what he has done? He has shown hero dominating the villain. So that automatically given satisfaction for audience or not there. So similarly, you focus more on the problem. If you understand the problem, if you analyze the problem, you will understand the importance of the solution. Are you getting my point there, guys? Okay. Now let's see problem part, guys. Everyone should focus, guys. Everyone should focus like anything. Class A, initially you think return type is int only. M1 method returning 100 na boss. Class B extends A. That means in B class, M1 is a direct method or overridden method? Yeah, inheritance na, it's a overridden method. It is returning same M1, 1000 it is returning, right? Class C extends what? B. M1 is overridden with what? 1000. Class D extends B, overridden with how much, guys? 100. Class E extends B, overridden with how much, guys? Overridden with how much, guys? Are you getting my point there or not? Say something, my dear. Okay, guys. Class A, B, C. This is the hierarchy now, boss. B extending from A, C, D, E extending from B. This is the basic hierarchy now. Yeah, I said code becomes fragile, easily breakable. You change the return type of the M1 method in the topmost class of inheritance hierarchy from int to float. Then what happens, guys? All the classes got disturbed or not there. Why? It is returning what? Float. But all these are having what? Int. So they also need to be changed or not. If not changed, problem will come or not there. That means there are 100 classes in the hierarchy. All of them are overriding common method that is there in the topmost class. If you change the signature of that one method, all the 99 classes got disturbed or not. code is very fragile or not there. It is like a building that is constructed using playing cards are not there. You disturb one playing card, entire building is collapsed or not there. It's like on beach side you construct houses with the sand, right? While playing in the kids Babu, you will construct small houses in the sand, right? They are strong houses or sensitive houses. 1 foot here and there, one touch here and there, house will collapse or not there. The house will collapse like anything or not there, guys. Are you understanding, Mister? Very, very fragile or not there. That's why you observe the methods in object class will never change their signature. If they change, that day Java collapsed. Why? Object is the topmost class in the inheritance hierarchy of any Java class. Extending from that class directly, indirectly, by this time, crores of classes already there. Lot of user defined, lot of predefined, lot of third party, lot of frameworks applied classes, directly, indirectly using object class methods. If anyone change a toString method return type from string to string builder, total Java collapsed or not there. That's why you observe. They may add 1-2 methods in object class version to version, but they don't touch existing method signatures in object class. The day they touched, Java gone. Yes or no, boss? So very, very sensitive are not there. Then how do you solve this problem with the composition, sir? I really liked the problem part. But how do you solve this problem through what? Composition. Focus. In composition, I'm not saying problem is not there. Problem can be restricted to 1-2 lines. By modifying those 1-2 lines, I can solve the problem. Okay, let's see. I hope everyone clear. See the explanation. If you modify the signature of M1 method return type of class A, top class of the inheritance hierarchy, return type is changed from int to float, then all the classes of that inheritance will be collapsed. All the classes of that inheritance will be collapsed. That means becomes incompatible. This indicates with inheritance, the code is very much fragile. That means easily breakable. See, I changed it into to float and entire classes got collapsed or not there. Solution using composition. Firstly, observe. Same hierarchy I am taking, but A and B I am not keeping in inheritance. I am keeping in what? Composition. See, class A, class B. Private A, A1 is equal to new A1. Is B is subclass of A? No. B and B are there in composition or not there? Okay, now listen carefully. Initially, the code is like this. Int x is equal to A1 dot M1 method. Now, first of all, tell me, since A and B are there in composition, this M1 is overridden method or a direct method? It cannot be called as overridden. Is it because it is not inherited method, right? It's a direct method. So in this M1, I am calling A class M1 by using the object of A that is created in class B or not there. Okay, initial return type is what? Int. That's why I have taken int. Okay. Now, class C, class B, class E, all these are extending from B. Okay, this is not a problem. Now, I changed return type of what? M1 method in class A from int to float. This line will be disturbed or not then? Only this line is disturbed, entire hierarchy is disturbed. Only, yeah, if I can set right that line, problem is minimized to that line only, na my dear. If I can set right that line, problem is minimized to that line only, my dear. Problem is not propagated to other classes that are there in the inheritance now, my dear. Come on. Like this, I can streamline the problem to certain level or not there. How to streamline? Int x is equal to math dot round of a1 dot m1. What is there? Int x is equal to math dot round of a1 dot m1. The problem is confined to one level or not there. So tell me, composition is solving this Prasail problem little bit or not there? At least it is not disturbing all the classes of hierarchy or not. Sir, why C, D are not disturbed? Are return type is still int, they are overriding int only. Yes or no? Na? Here return type is changed. When I'm calling that method, return type is float, but basically float is not taken. That's why I'm converting that one into integer by using round method. You know what round method will do? If 10.4 is there, it will make 10. If 10.5 and above is there, it will make 11. Round up, round down values it will do. That's why the method is what? Round. Sir, how can it is method dot round, sir? It's a static method of math class. That's why I can call on the class. So I'm not saying this problem is not there in composition. When return type changes, definitely problem is there. But problem can be restricted to certain level. It need not to disturb all the classes of the hierarchy are not there. It need not to disturb all the classes of hierarchy are not there. Here, if you modify return type of M1 method in class A, that will affect only one line in class B, where that M1 method is called. By just modifying that line of code, come on guys, we can restrict the problem to that level itself. That means the other class of inheriting from class B will not be affected. The other classes that are inheriting from class B will not be affected. I hope you convinced with me, guys. Int x is equal to a1 dot m1. This is the problem code or not there. And by calling this one, I am going for solution is there or not there. Math dot round a1 dot m1 solution code. Definitely round up the value or round down the value, so that you will get integer value, though it is giving me float value or not there. It gives me integer value, though it is giving float value. I hope you convinced it with me, my dear. Come on, everyone. Yeah. I think solution for second problem also came nicely, my dear. Everyone convinced it with me? Okay, tell me. What's the strategy design pattern is all about? Following three principles while designing classes of dependency management. Which classes? Target and dependent classes. What's the rule number one? Favor composition over inheritance. Number two, always code to interface and abstract classes. Don't code to concrete classes to achieve what? Okay, loose coupling through dynamic polymorphism implementation. Number three, guys, our code must be open for extension, must be closed for what? Modification, right? Must be open for extension, must be closed for what? Modification. How many rules we discussed so far? Only one rule. What is that rule? Favor composition over inheritance. In that one, with inheritance, how many problems we found, guys? Three problems. How many problems we so discussed? Two problems. In that one, how many solutions we found through composition? Two solutions. So now third is left or not there. That means tomorrow we are going to take up what? Rule number two, rule number three. Okay, today we are focusing only on what? Rule number one. In rule number one, what is the problem with inheritance and how those problems can be solved through what? Composition. This is what we are going to talk or not there, guys. Yes. Okay. Now let's see. When should I go for composition? When should I go for inheritance? I think we already discussed it, Namas. Okay. If class 1 wants to use everything of class 2, then go for what? While making our class as thread servlet component, we fully dependent on what? Inherit. If class 1 wants to use few properties and methods of class 2, then keep them in what? Composition relationship, right? Class 2, class C2, class C1, right? Private C2, C2, new C2 off. Okay, in C1, C2 class object is created or not there? Okay, now, is there any rule I should call all the methods of C2 in C1, guys? I will call only those methods in which I am interested or not there. For example, wish message generator, local time. So though I injected local time object to wish message generator, am I calling everything? Am I calling everything, guys? No. I'm calling only few methods, one, two methods that are required in my business logic are not there. That's great. Now tell me, the testing of code becomes complex if classes are there in what? Inherit. Sir, testing is done by testers. Now, why are you suffering, programmer? All testings are done by testers. System test, everything. But unit testing is done by developer. What is unit testing? The test that is done by the programmer on his own piece of code. What is that? On his own piece of code is called as what? Is called as what? The test that is done by programmer on his own piece of code, nothing but on his own task completion, on his own assignment code is called as unit testing. This can be done manually, guys, or this also can be done through automation. For that one, automation tools are there, and the popular automation tool is JUnit. Sir, what do you mean by testing? Is always matching expected results with actual results. I have a simple interest calculation method, guys, as a business method. By giving some inputs, I do manual calculation on the paper, right? PTR by 100, some manual calculation. I'll give the same inputs through application. Okay. I will check whether paper calculation and output given by application is matching or not. If matching, test result is positive. If not matching, test result is negative. Come on, guys. If not matching, some problem is there in our code. We will try to verify again or not there. Where the problem, we'll try to see it. But we will test with one variety of input or different varieties of input. You have to test with different varieties of input. With only one variety you test means tomorrow end user gives wrong values. That time we are expecting error, but error is not coming. It's a problem or not there. So you have to test. You should write a test method or test case method with one variety of input or different varieties of method. For example, calculate simple interest is my business method. First test with the small values, 1 lakh, 2 rupees interest, 12 months duration. Test with the high values, 10 crore, 10 years duration, come on, and 5 rupees interest. You have to test with the small values, you have to test with high values, you have to test with wrong values also. Wrong value means what? Okay, interest rate is minus 3 rupees. Principal amount is minus 10,000 rupees. Such values are possible, huh? When such values are given, error should come, na? Error is coming or not also one test, guys. For these inputs, you should get the error, but it is not giving error, it is giving negative interest amount. Is meaningless, na boss? When error expected, error should come. Not coming means what? Test failed. So we should write test plans or test cases. Test plan, test case is a plan where expected results will be matched with what? Actual result. If matched, test result is positive. If not matched, test result is negative. Are you getting my point there or not there? Convinced or not, my dear? Got the clarity or not, my dear? The testing of code becomes what? Complex. If classes are there in what? Inheritance. Are you getting my point there or not there? Testing is all about matching expected results with what? Actual result. If both results are matched, then we can say test results are positive. If not matched, test result is what? Negative. Lots of testings will be taken care by what? Testers. But unit testing must be taken care by what? Developer. System testing, navigation testing, performance testing, integration, everything is done by testers. But only one test that will be done by developer. That is what? Programmer testing on his own piece of code is called unit testing. After completing given task related coding, the unit testing takes place on the code before submitting that code. Or before pushing the code to common code repository like GitHub, he has to test the code or not there. Like every developer tests their own code. Indirectly, overall code is tested or not there. But though that is done, testers will test the whole project. Okay, guys. To test the code in all permutations and combination, we write test cases or test plans are not there. We generally write these test plans are one per each variety of input, right? One per each variety of input. The programmer's unit testing can be done manually or by using what? Automated tool called JUnit. But here I want to write one more thing. Test case or test plan is a plan where the expected results will be matched with what results? Actual. Expected result will be matched with what? Actual result. We write multiple test cases. Okay, multiple test cases for each business method with what, guys? Different varieties of inputs. Are you understanding my statement, guys? With different varieties of input. Are you getting my point there, guys? See, guys, what is the problem? What is the problem of unit testing with respect to inheritance? Class A is having how many methods, guys? Please be active. Two. Class B is having how many methods, guys? Huh? Two methods. So class B is extending from class A now, boss. By using B class object, total how many methods I can call? Two na, four. Sure. Yes, we can call four methods, right? So using B class object, we can call four method main. If I want to do unit testing, I should do unit testing for two methods or for four methods. That means while working with the inheritance, not only you should test direct methods of that class, you should also test all the inherited methods of the class hierarchy are not there. This gives burden on the programmer or not there. It will very burden to the programmer or not. Suppose 10 classes are there in the inheritance hierarchy. Each class 3 methods. 10 into 3, 30. Last class I want to perform unit testing. On last class I want to perform what? Unit testing. Now tell me total how many methods I have to unit test? 30. But actually how many methods are there in the last class? 3 methods. But how many methods you need to perform unit testing? 13. It's a definitely burden on the programmer or not? Yes or no, Nare? I said, not only complete your task, if completed fastly, help others also. Then you will feel. Tomorrow, if you get the job, will he give me salary to me? Why should I help? One, two people you will help, but not everyone, na boss. So, While testing class B, we need to write test cases for what? B class method, M3, M4, and A class method because using the object of class B, we can invoke total 4 method. That's why we need to do unit testing for four methods or not. We need to do unit testing for all the 4 methods or not there. Say something, my dear. In inheritance, we need to perform unit testing on both current class method and inherited method belonging to all the classes of inheritance hierarchy, which is always complex task to perform or not. It's a easy task or complex task? Easy task or complex task, guys? Okay, guys. Whoever asked, someone excited, last point, I'm getting confusion. Mr. Rajendra, now you understood why you are overexcited? Why I said you are overexcited? Like this, each point I am going to talk elaborately. First point only one class completed mean. So remaining 2 points also we are going to see more and more elaborately or not there. That's why first learn how to learn subject, then excite. I appreciate your enthusiasm, your curiosity of learning thing, but there's an order to follow. In the day one also I have clearly said, before you ask any question, hold that question in your brain for 5 to 10 minutes. Did I say that statement or I kept the side heading, you asked a question. What's the use of it? 5 to 10 minutes you hold it. Then you will get a clarity. Okay, how the planning will come. After 5 to 10 minutes also, if I am not touching the subject in the angle you want, definitely you have a right to ask. So today point 1 is completed. When I launch point 2, point 3, definitely you are going to see more elaborately, right? Fine. Okay. Yeah. Solution using composition. Class A, how many methods? Class B, how many methods? In M3 method, M1 method of class A is called na boss? Called or not called? Okay. Now, is there any inheritance between? Okay. Only composition is there, right? Now I am writing unit testing for class B methods. Do I need to write unit testing for class A method in this situation? Because they are not invocable, right? So for how many methods I should write test cases? Only 2. Yes, my dear. Moreover, when you write unit testing for M3 method, indirectly you are testing M1 method also. After all, M1, M3 method is internally calling M1 method or not? Say something, guys. So that means with the composition, unit testing becomes easier, complex again. Unit testing becomes easier, complex again. Definitely easy process are not there. While doing unit testing on class B methods, we need to write test cases only for what? M3, M4 method. That means no need of writing test cases for class A method M1, M2. M1 method of class A is indirectly unit tested while performing unit testing on what? Class B of M3 method. Class B M3 method. Are you getting my point there, guys? Test case is a test plan where expected results will be matched with what? Actual result. For every method that we want to test, we try to write what? Multiple test cases with different varieties of input. Don't go by quantity, go by variety. Yes or no? When you do shopping, you will try to purchase shirts of same pattern or very different pattern. Yes or no, guys? You will purchase 10 shirts of same pattern or different shirts of different patterns. While doing testing also, you will test with same style of inputs or different varieties of input. One with high, one with low, one with wrong values, one with mixed values. Come on. Then only your code will be tested effectively. Otherwise, do you think your code will be tested effectively? I don't think your code will be tested effectively. I hope you understood strategy design pattern principle number 1. What is that? Always prefer Composition over inherit. Is inheritance is bad? Bad towards designing target and dependent classes. Overall good. And today you got the clarity also. Where exactly inheritance, where exactly composition. Okay. If one class wants to use everything of other class, go keep them in inherit. Only few things of other class it wants to use. Composition. Tell me, in core Java you studied, but now you are a bit matured person. Not because of my explanation, because of what? Advanced Java you did, so many practicals you did in other courses. I mean to say, in Spring also. That makes you to understand core Java in a better manner or not there. So that's why in core Java you will learn syntax, what is what. But you will get maturity of understanding them, visualization of them when you start applying on advanced concepts. So don't close that window, guys. Always keep your window open to add new things to the core Java learning process. Today, I think, I don't know whether you've seen this angle or not. Okay. While learning core Java also you studied inheritance, composition, both, but you never got the clarity where to use inheritance, where to use composition. Today onwards, you have a clarity now, boss. Why? Because not only we have seen the statement, we have felt it. I created thread extending from thread class. I'm not doing anything in my class, but my class has become thread. Why? Because my JVM or whoever it is, they're ready to use everything of thread class to make my class object as thread are not there. Only few things you want to use composition. Best example, our Spring First application. Though entire local date class object is injected to wish message generator, we are using only one method in that, not entire methods, right? So that time composition is preferred and recommended one or not there. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed all these things, guys. Yeah. Tomorrow when we meet, we are going to discuss about rule number 2, rule number 3. But from my side, I have a request. In core Java, okay, you might have studied LCRP, loose coupling with runtime polymorphism. Studied or not studied? Revise the topic once. How to achieve loose coupling with interfaces. How to achieve loose coupling with what? Interfaces. How to change one dependent with another dependent without touching the source code of what? Target class. Yes or no? Na? I think almost core Java faculty, they give different title, but they cover this concept. What is that? LCRP, loose coupling with runtime polymorphism. Runtime polymorphism means working with interface or abstract classes. You know, overloading comes under compile time polymorphism, and overriding comes under runtime polymorphism. That too, you want to get that runtime polymorphism with loose coupling, you have to involve either interfaces or abstract classes. I hope you are aware of all these things. Revise and come for the classes. Tomorrow, entire game is that only. And if you complete rule number 2, rule number 3 is a little extension of rule number 2. So tomorrow our agenda is we complete rule number 2, rule number 3. We try to develop strategy design pattern application first in core Java. And we'll see our problems of implementing strategy design pattern in core Java setup. So many things we have to do manually. And we try to develop the same strategy design pattern application in Spring. Then you will understand advantage of working with Spring. This is the planning of second application. So where is factory pattern in this story, sir? In the implementation of strategy pattern, there is a situation to work with what? Factory pattern. That's why first I taught what? Factory pattern. So that in the implementation of strategy pattern, I can start involving what? Factory pattern. Tomorrow session is very crucial. In fact, entire strategy design pattern is very crucial. Okay, don't dare to miss the classes, right? Yeah. 7 a.m. What's your batch code, guys? Where is this? This one? Spring Core. Right click. File upload. Yeah, here is what, guys? Class content. Spring here. Where is this? 719 Spring Core. Let me save the document once. Session 17. Already there it seems. Fine. Thank you guys. Have a nice time. We'll meet tomorrow.